All right, perhaps this has repaired the sound. I see the soundbar moving. My apologies. We are broadcasting off of OBS instead of our normal vMix. Our producer Bulinator is unavailable. He is currently producing for Caffeine Corner. The stock market has just recently resumed trading. It stopped trading earlier today for 15 minutes when a circuit breaker, a um, emergency backup, or sorry, emergency contingency. If the Dow falls below 7% in an immediate, if it rapidly falls below 7%, all trading is halted for 15 minutes. This is in order to stop the markets aren't actually moved by reality. This is something we've discussed before. They're moved by the perception of reality. And if people perceive that there's a problem and they start to panic, that panic makes the problem a lot worse. These circuit breakers are designed to trip and give people a breather so they stop the panic and start thinking more rationally. They were instituted in 1987 by Ronald Reagan after Black Monday and a huge collapse of the stock market. The idea is, again, to prevent human emotions from causing people to just panic beyond what is reasonable and cause further collapses in the stock market. So the stock market fell 7%. That's over 1,800 points on fears of the coronavirus and international problems with oil. If it continues to fall again below the 13 point, another stop will be triggered. If it falls if it falls below 20%, all trading will be halted for the day. So as we've discussed before, the stock market and the futures for the stock market have plummeted, and it looks like people are currently predicting that the stock market will continue to plummet. A number of things have been contributing to this. With the coronavirus, obviously airlines have had huge problems with their stocks. The people aren't traveling. People obviously shouldn't be traveling as much with the coronavirus. Tourism is getting hit. There's a number of, as a confidence in the economy begins to plummet, that's what causes these kinds of things to happen. The Dow is now back up again, slightly above that 1,800 point level. It is currently at 1,460, down 5% off of the start. So, one other issue that is currently happening is Russia and OPEC have had a deal whereby they have been controlling prices. They've been cornering the market on oil by manipulating how much oil they release in order to keep the prices high. They pull back, pull back on the spigot a little bit, and this causes oil prices to go up. They get more money for their oil. There is it's an economic principle about the marginal rate, at which point, if you put it up too high, yes, you're getting more money, but people are also buying less, and so the net result is you're not making as much money. If you put the price too low, people are buying more, but the price is so low you're not getting enough for it. So there's a marginal rate, a sort of a golden sweet spot at which if you charge any more, people buying less will reduce your profits. If you charge any less, even though people buy more, the overall amount that you get for it is less. So you have to find this sweet spot. They have been artificially locking it into that sweet spot. They have now gotten into an argument, a feud over prices and where that money is going, and they are now in a trade war. What that means is the prices for oil will drop because they're opening the spigot and each trying to manipulate the other, get the other to make concessions by artificially drastically reducing the prices by flooding the market. This is causing oil prices to plummet, and between that and the coronavirus, you have an extraordinarily volatile day. The S&P 500 has dropped more than 7% as well, and the NASDAQ Composite has dropped 7%. The value of the Russian currency, which has actually been what's called soft money. It's never actually, it's not a hard currency like the US, it's a soft currency. It's very unreliable, but that has apparently crashed. And so at the present, trading has resumed. It is below that. It's at 5.6%. If it goes back up to 7%, it will not, shouldn't trigger uh, another circuit breaker, but it will if it goes up, if the losses are over 13%. Another reason they instituted this was because of hacks. There was they changed the values during the hack. apologize, I've forgotten all of the details, but somebody had, actually it wasn't a hack, it was a bug in the system that caused a massive plummet in the value of certain stocks just as a result of a error in the software that was calculating how the prices reached the market. This caused a huge sell-off in the stocks, and that had there been something like this in place at the micro level, it would have stopped the losses. So a number of these stop gaps have been implemented. We're going to need at some point a discussion on the free hand of the market and just how much you really do want to let it have a free hand. Unfortunately, sometimes in the free hand of the market, short-term panic causes a significant long-term damage. We're not very good long-term thinkers. That's why these kind of circuit breakers are in place. Again, trading has resumed, but trading had stopped for about 15 minutes today during just a wild open. The stock market had been open for less than an hour before this emergency, again, circuit breaker, I hate the term, but this emergency circuit breaker had been triggered. And at this point, Dow futures are still down, meaning people still think that the prices will continue to fall, but right now they've stabilized at just about a 5% loss off the top. So we will come back if there is any other significant news, but as of this moment, trading has resumed, and we can expect a little more volatility, and certainly we'll see what Russia and OPEC decide upon. That's going to have a pretty significant impact on these kinds of prices. Nobody wants to see this go down. Hurts us more than the Russians, so they're not necessarily incentivized to try to help stabilize the system. But as of this moment, trading appears to be okay. We're down, the Dow is down over 1,400 points, but everything seems to be all right. The second trigger would be if we go down below 13%. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but we will keep you updated if it does. Thank you all for joining us for this edition of Breaking News. And hopefully, I apologize for the sound systems, and we'll work out the system. We weren't quite prepared to go live with this system, but we will work it out, and hopefully we will be all set. Thank you for joining us, and we'll keep you posted on Twitter and on YouTube. Thank you.